Our next speaker has had a distinguished career in law enforcement, culminating by being selected by President Clinton as director of the FBI. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Louis Freeh.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Reese, President Rajavi, and my distinguished colleagues on the panel, and very importantly to the residents of Camp Ashraf. We always like to tell you and commit to you, as we have in the past, that your struggle there is now much more magnified, under much greater visibility, with a greater hope of safety and rescue than before. And I think we have to credit your President, Madam Rajavi, for this. Madam Rajavi, you deserve credit for that, and we thank you and salute you for that. It was a very extraordinary experience for some of us. December 12th, 2011, we found ourselves protesting in front of the White House. For former Homeland Security secretaries, former governors, former FBI directors, it is quite a strange experience. While I was out there, I got a text from the head of the Secret Service detail who said, "I understand you're outside protesting." And I said, "Yes, we are, and if possible, we'd like to come inside and speak to the President." Now, in the President's strong regard, he met that day, as you know, with Prime Minister Maliki. We were told by very senior officials in the Department of State that he raised Camp Ashraf, that Secretary Clinton raised Camp Ashraf. She has said on the record that she is personally involved in this issue. She appointed an ambassador last month to deal with this matter. Very extraordinary things that have happened in a very short period of time, which have stayed off the genocide which we could have otherwise been witnessing at Camp Ashraf. What was also bizarre about the meeting and event that we had outside the White House on December 12th is Madam Rajavi spoke to us by satellite. We were very pleased always to hear her words and hear her leadership. Ironically, that day, who was in the White House was an individual named Hadi Amiri. Hadi Amiri is the Secretary of Transportation, Minister of Transportation for Iraq. But he's got a very interesting background, and as I said, I'm not an investigator anymore. I don't have the tools I used to have in the FBI, but I do have the Internet. And if you go on the Internet, you can find a picture of Mr. Amiri, the current Minister of Transportation. There's a shot in October where he's kissing the ring of the Supreme Leader, the head of the terrorist regime. And he's also a very interesting history. He was the commander of the IRGC Badr Brigade. The IRGC, as you know, were responsible for, among other things, the murder of 19 American airmen at Hobart Towers in June of 1996, a Hezbollah operation conducted with the funding, guidance, planning of the IRGC, which is the external terrorist organ of the administration. I said when I was outside the White House, you know, a couple of FBI agents would be very interested in speaking to Minister Amiri, maybe showing him some mug shots and asking him some questions. So we do have some good tidings, as they say, with respect to what has happened in the last few weeks. The plan to disperse the residents of Camp Ashraf around Iraq has stopped. The deadline has been moved. New ambassador has been appointed by the Secretary of State. An MOU has been signed on Christmas Day, although, as Attorney General Mukasey mentioned, a very deficient legal document in terms of protecting those people. But the details have not been worked out. The implementation of the agreed plan to move the Ashrafis to Camp Liberty and then to transit them on to safe havens outside of Iraq. Everyone seems to agree on that principle now, which is an extraordinary development, a development which was accelerated by Madame Rajavi's very prompt, and I think, volunteering of moving 400 people immediately to Camp Liberty. But, you know, there's an expression in English, the devil is in the details, and the details here are quite deficient. We have been speaking, as you've heard, at a very high level with the State Department, some of us, on weekly, even bi-weekly calls. When Ambassador Kobler signed that MOU on December 25th,